Obviously, we witnessed it firsthand last weekend, and the way they can control the game, the way they control the ball, the positions they get in, how they interchange all the time. They're a very difficult team to play against, and in my opinion, in my time playing in the Premier League, they're as good as I've faced.
And for you, Seamus, are you fully up to speed now? Is there still a bit to go after the injury?
No, I feel good. I feel physically fine. I suppose after any long-term injury, I think for a period you're always getting that sharpness back, and game by game I feel like I'm getting that back. But physically I feel good, and I love being out there again.
So if Tiger winning the Masters this week is the ultimate comeback, where does Seamus Coleman against Leicester City rank?
That was great. 10 months out. It was all I've been thinking about during my injury was to come back and to make sure when I'm back that. One of the things wasn't labelled was, he's going to need time, he's not himself. I wanted to make sure when I came back that the 10 months in the gym wasn't just 10 months in the gym, it was 10 months of hard work to show everyone when I do come back I'm as strong and as fast as ever, and I felt that night, I showed people that.
But how did you find that level? Because you'd expect maybe a bit of rustiness when it comes to the touch, what have you. There was none of that.
No, I don't know, I started training myself, in my head for that game long before it happened. I pictured everything on the night. Obviously, I didn't get the goal that I was hoping for on the night, but no, just confidence in my ability and confidence in all the work that I'd done with all the medical team and all the sports science team, and just really enjoyed it. I just couldn't wait to get out there. So I'm just glad that we won the game on the night and I played very well.
After suffering such a serious injury, though, what fears did you have, and psychologically, I suppose? What help did you need to help you get back?
See, I don't want to be saying this to sound like to sound better than I am, but when I broke my leg, you have a couple of low days where you're kind of on medication, you're a bit drowsy, but as soon as I came off that and got my head around it, I was fine. The injury had happened. The only way I was going to get back on the pitch was by doing the stuff I needed to do in the gym, and I worked very hard, and I had full confidence in my ability. When the surgeon told me, your leg is fully healed, you can tackle, I didn't think twice about tackling. So all that stuff didn't play in my head. I couldn't wait to get on the pitch, couldn't wait to get tackling people, not for me but to show everyone else that there's no side effects. So thankfully I've got through the injury quite well, and I'm out the other side of it now.
Have you spoken to Neil Taylor at all since as well?
Yeah, he dropped me a message. Was it a couple of nights ago that I was in the hospital on the early days? But as I said before in an interview, I've got no hard feelings towards Neil Taylor whatsoever. Went out in the pitch, we went in for a tackle. Okay, it wasn't a great tackle, but me thinking about Neil isn't going to help my career or help me kick on. I had to forget about that as quick as possible and move on with my journey as Neil will with his.
I suppose if you ever needed a boost as well, you probably got that when you did visit Goodison Park and you could hear the fans singing 60 grand, Seamus Coleman.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was very, very humbling for me to realise I left that impact on the fans, that I could get that reception when I came back. It was a night I'll never forget, and as I said before, I've had to. The early stages of that game, I had to blank it out because I had a game to play and I needed to make sure I was at it and fully fit, and made sure the fans knew that I still had what I had before I got injured. So I had to blank it out a little bit, but when the game was over and done, I could sit back and take it all in and really thank them for it.
Did you pick up on the fans singing while you were out as well?
Yeah, I did. I picked it up very early when I was sitting at home watching the games on the TV. You could hear it coming through the TV and that. So all that helped, and all that got me through. Yeah.
We all saw you rushing off to see James McCarthy when he suffered that injury as well. What help have you been to him?
For James, everything's fresh in my mind. So anything that he needs to bounce off me, I'm there for him. Little aches and pains that you do get along the way that he might be worried about, he might bounce it off me and I'll say, yeah, I had the exact same thing. It's going to be sore for another week, it's going to be sore for another couple of weeks, but it will go away. And to be fair, James has been great. He's really kicking on, and he's really doing well with his rehab. But obviously that was a tough thing to see. Not because I'd done my own, but because he's such a close friend.
On the football side of things then as well, what's it been like to see Everton struggling and also Ireland to fail to qualify for the World Cup?
Yeah, that's been the hardest part of the whole injury. It's been difficult being out, but to see, I suppose, to see the struggles of us this season, especially in Europe, when we were looking forward to it so much, it was quite difficult for me. You just wanted to be part of it. Maybe you feel like you could have made a difference at times. And on the international scene, it was quite similar. When I got injured, things were going quite well at the time, and unfortunately we died off a little bit. So they were the two things I probably struggled with most, being injured, not being fit to help the lads and getting stuck in with them.
So what's been the single biggest reason for Everton slipping from a side that was challenging the top six, maybe even looking at challenging the top four, to one that at one stage this season seemed to be fighting a relegation battle?
Yeah, it's incredible when you say that. There definitely was a period where we were looking over our shoulders, which is incredible, really. It should definitely not be the case for a club like this, especially when we put a lot of investment into the team this year. So to put my finger on what actually went wrong, I couldn't. Everyone's been trying to do their best. Managers, players, staff. We've all been wanting what's best for the club, for what's best for the team. But it hasn't happened. And then when you're losing games and losing some games the way we did, confidence is going to drain. And I think that's what happened for a long period of time. The confidence was gone in the players, and we couldn't really snap out of it. But we've snapped out of it a little bit now, but by no way means are we happy with how this season is. I
suppose you couldn't have imagined when you got injured as well that there would be the changes that there has been at managerial level.
No, definitely not. Obviously Ronald Koeman had done such a good job in his first season, and I'm sure he was looking forward to kicking on as well. And for whatever reason, the results just didn't come. And there's been, obviously, David came in for a period now, and now the manager's in. So definitely couldn't imagine it. You think that you're going to start the season and finish the season with the one manager, but I suppose the way the league is gone now, it's a results business, and you need to start getting results.
Is there uncertainty again about the manager's position? We see speculation at the moment. The fans at times have booed the manager. The fans booed at half-time as well the performance against Manchester City. Is there uncertainty within the dressing room as to how the club is going to move forward when it gets to the summer?
I think nowadays, as I said, in the Premier League, if you're not getting results, there's always going to be uncertainty, and the only way to get rid of that is by getting results. So the manager will be aware of that. Us as players will be aware of that, and I think us as players as well, us in that change room, we can't always hide behind managers. We have to step up to the plate and get results as well. As I just said, we've had 3 managers this season, but we've still got the same bunch of players. So us as individuals, we always need to step up to the plate as well and make sure we get results.
And in terms of building for the future and where Everton go from here, what do you see as the way forward?
Winning games, getting a lot better on the pitch, better than we have been this season, and that's the way forward. There's no other way forward. We've got to win games, as simple as that.
Big game this weekend, obviously. It means so much to the football club. What does the Merseyside derby mean to you?
Yeah, it means everything to me, but unfortunately we haven't won enough for them. It's been not good enough on our behalf, but we've got a chance on Saturday to put that right, and I'll be doing all I can. I've selected to make sure that we win that game, and I'm sure all the lads will as well, because it's not been good enough, and we need to start winning a lot more of them games. 2010
was your one win in the Merseyside derby. I believe it was your first as well. Certainly the first that you started anyway. You had been on the bench, I think, for a couple before that. Why so long without a win in Merseyside derbies?
Yeah, it's incredible, and I'm not afraid to use the word. It's been embarrassing, really, because that shouldn't be the case. As a football club, we should be competing a lot more, especially against Liverpool. And what did you say, 2010? That's not good enough. And you can say all the cliche things in interviews, like we'll do better, whatever. But the only way we can do it is on the pitch, and we have to show that on the pitch on Saturday. And we need to make sure when we go home that we can go home with our heads held high, because don't want to go home after another derby defeat, and as you said, having not won one since 2010, so not good enough.
Cahill and Arteta that day. Can you remember too much about it? What that feeling was like?
Yeah, it was a great feeling. It was a brilliant feeling. Obviously, I played a part in one of the goals, which was that extra bit special. So it was a very good feeling. But the two names you've mentioned there, it's a long time since they played for Everton, so it needs to be put right.
What is the feeling like on Derby Day, in and around the dressing room, the whole atmosphere about the place?
There definitely is a different feeling. There's no two ways about it. It's a feeling that I enjoy. You'd be nervous as you do for most games, but you just you got that extra little feeling for the derby, and when it kicks off, you know, it's just a different atmosphere that you can't really put your finger on, but it's quite intense for the 90 minutes. But you know, it's all about winning games. It can be the best weekend of the year, it can be the worst weekend of the year, and you've just got to make sure it's the best.
Do you get that impression from the fans as well in the build-up? Are they coming up to you saying, got to win this weekend?
Yeah, you do. If you're out doing the shopping in the week leading up to the derby, you get people coming up to you saying, got to win this weekend, make sure we win. And you know, it's understandable. You know, I feel the same. We need to make sure that we do. But it's a game I think we all need to look forward to as well, and I very much am. How
do you stop them? They've been described as having the best three in the Premier League.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. Their front three have been great. Obviously, Salah's been different class for them, so it's not going to be an easy day for the defenders. But if you can frustrate them, I do think they'll give us chances as well. So we've got to hang on to that they will give us chances.
What does it say about the rivalry as well that the first derby, Jurgen Klopp mentioned you in his programme notes after you'd suffered the injury?
Yeah, I think there definitely is a bit of that side as well. You know, the mention he gave me, and the captain as well, Jordan Henderson, was, you know, something that I did appreciate very much so at the time. You know, it was a week after the injury, so for them to go out of their way and say that was great. Obviously on Saturday they'll not be wanting me to do as well, and I'll not be wanting them to do as well, but it's a message that I'm very grateful for on both parts.
Is it possibly a good time to catch them as well, given they've got this massive Champions League quarter-final first leg against Manchester City?
Yeah, they will maybe have their eyes on that, but you know, Saturday's Saturday, and they'll be thinking about 3 points, and we'll be thinking about 3 points, and you know, we can't hang on to the hope that they have one eye on a different game, because we just need to win the game because it's been too long.
And that, I suppose, brings pressure for Everton, but they've got the pressure as well of being in those Champions League spots and wanting to hold on to them. I don't know who's under more pressure on the day, if anyone indeed is.
Yeah, well, you know, I can only speak on behalf of ourselves, and I think I'm going to say we're under pressure to win the game, because I want that pressure. I want to win against Liverpool. It's been too long, and so, you know, bring the pressure on us, and let's see where we go.
And as we mentioned, their front three, what about you and Theo Walcott and that partnership down the right-hand side, giving them something to think about?
Definitely, yeah. Theo's been great, and I've enjoyed playing with him. He's very, very fast, so for me, he's sometimes worried opposition a bit, which has given me a bit of a license to get forward, and you know, hopefully we can cause them some trouble on the day.
And just finally then, Seamus, obviously we spoke about Liverpool going for the Champions League qualification, but what is the aim for Everton between now and the end of the season?
Win as many games as we possibly can. You know, every weekend the results come in. I keep looking at 7th. I keep thinking that it's possible. Obviously, Leicester and Burnley won at the weekend, which makes that little bit more difficult. But I think you've got to aim for as high as you possibly can. And win Saturday, we've got some good fixtures coming up, and we want to finish the season as strong as possible. So let's look for as high as we can.
I suppose a derby win would change the atmosphere about the place again, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. The derby can change a lot, and if we win and get the confidence going into the rest of the season off that derby, it will be great. And you know, I'm really looking forward to it, and really confident that we can get all 3 points.